Welcome to Italy, welcome to Vallelunga, an awesome track, not too far from Rome, and we are here with Ducati to do something very, very special. We have got the new Panigale for 2022. Now, as I'm filming this in October, this is all under embargo, so I can't even put on social media the awesomeness of what I'm doing. The bike is not going to be released until December, but Ducati have asked me to come down to try the new model out. It's not fully finished, and we're going to put that against the current or the now old bike. We're going to use the same Pirelli slick tyres. We're going to use the same brake pads. We've got perfect conditions here in Vallelunga. We're going to use the same rider. And we're basically just going to go out, do 5 laps, come in, jump on the old bike, 5 laps, come in. Just keep doing that all day. Probably going to do about 60 or 70 laps. And we'll have got full data logging on both bikes, so we'll be able to see, compare lap times, but also look at the traction intervention, lean angle, etc, etc. Hugely interesting, very, very different, and I feel very privileged to come on this test, but it is going to be fun. Right, so let me show you the bikes. So this is the new bike. Different wings, as you'll notice. Different bodywork, V4 S logo on the side. If you're wondering what this is, don't worry, that's just for the data logging, so we know what I'm doing when I'm out track, so there's no lies. You've got the extra fins on the side, the bit underneath, new clocks which are stolen from the Superleggera. The tank is wider in this section. You've got more of a stopping power, the seat is flatter. Again, that will all help you as a rider in stopping. And then I'll show you the old bike. So as you can tell, the wings are different. So the wings are actually smaller on the new bike, but just as efficient. So they offer the same amount of downforce, but less drag. So in theory, the new bike should be faster than the old bike. And then when we look at things like the seat, you can tell the difference in the seat. See how angular the old bike was, and the tank. See the difference in the bodywork. There's more gills or fins on the new bike. As I say, styling wise, it's not a massive. So let me just do this one and this one. It's pretty cool, eh? So we've just taken a bit of a breather, which is much needed. I'm absolutely shattered, to be honest. What we're going to do now is put new tyres, front and rear, new brake pads in, make sure both bikes are fueled to the same amount, and then go out, bed the pads in, bed the tyres in, put some fast laps in, come back in, jump on the other bike. It's kind of like almost a blind test, if you want to say it that way. The idea is that I hopefully will be able to understand the differences between the two bikes, and that should be backed up by some data, lap times, etc. So I find this stuff massively interesting because there's no kind of lying, you can't get around it because everything's data logged. So it's time to put my lid on, put the visor down, push for some hard laps, stop worrying about photos and looking cool, and just try and go for it. So we're just coming to the end of our test here in Vallelunga with Ducati, and as the old saying goes, the stopwatch never lies, and we can scientifically prove how quick I am or slow I am compared to the old bike. So the Ducati test rider Piro, who is incredibly fast, capable of winning races around here, did a 139.6 on the new bike. He did a 139 flat, well, near enough. So he's 0.5, 0.6 regularly faster on the new bike. Back to me. I tried my best. I did a 1:50, so I am 10, 11 seconds slower than a guy who can win Italian superbike races. I'm happy with that. So I did a 1:50.1 pretty regularly on the old bike, and on the new bike I was into the low 49 to 49.2s. So I'm 0.7 faster on the new bike than the old bike. And that's pretty consistent, that's pretty regular. We haven't looked at all the data yet, this is just pretty rough lap times. But by looking at the basic data, we can see that I'm around 0.7 of a second faster on the new bike compared to the old bike. But what the data also shows is those laps are pretty consistent. When I do a fast lap on the old bike, I'm really trying and pushing on. And then if I drop 0.7 of a second on the new bike, I can match the old bike's lap time pretty easy. The new bike is far easier to ride. And I think if we tweaked it a little bit more and really pushed on, bearing in mind this is the only one that's available at the moment, we're 2 and a bit months away from the launch, so if I crash this, I'm going to be in the you-know-what. So yeah, we're 0.7 of a second lap faster, and I can consistently do that for 4 or 5 laps and keep going. Where on the old bike, I was finding that hard work after 5 laps, to be fair. So if this was a 20-minute track day session or a 10-lap race, then that difference would be far greater at the end, because I can hold a decent fast pace on the new bike far easier than I can on the old bike. But it's not all about lap times, it's how the bike makes you feel. The front end feel, the way it steers, to me, doesn't mean I'm braking that much later or carrying that much more corner speed, but I have more confidence. So instead of feeling like I'm on the limit, I feel like I've got 10 to 15% left. So that gives me more confidence, it means I can relax. The quick shifter, the power delivery, the smooth fueling, again, it's not like the old bike is bad, far from it. It's just that the new bike is just a little bit more and gives you that more confidence. It's kind of like comparing a Rolls Royce to a Mercedes, I guess, you know. It's a bloody good car, but just this one is just the next level. It's just plushness, the sophistication. Same with the rider aids and everything else. Ducati are claiming the wings are the same downforce even though they're smaller, which reduces the amount of drag, so it is actually faster. To be honest, that's difficult to tell between the two bikes. We're on about a few kilometers an hour. Hope you've enjoyed this informative, very different video. If you've enjoyed it, make some comments below. If you want some more, I'll add some more, and I hope you enjoy the channel.